Here we are on section 3-4 with the solutions to numbers 20 through 30. We'll use these graphs down here. Graph the following lines giving 1 point and the slope. Notice you could pick different points. Now let's remind ourselves of what we learned about this nice, wonderful shortcut. That if y is by itself, which each one of these has been set up with y by itself so we can practice this particular shortcut, that guy right there is the slope. We normally have to have 2 points and do some subtraction, but in this case, it will always turn out to be, if y is by itself, the number in front of x. And the other slick thing about this is that guy right there is the y-intercept. In other words, if you stick in 0 for x, it will wipe out this term here that turns out to be the slope, but it'll wipe out that for this 1 point, and you will get 0b. So let's use these shortcuts. If you choose to stick in 5 or 3 or 8 for x, that's perfectly fine. Then your answers won't match mine exactly, but it'll be pretty close. So on number 20, we'll notice we have the point 0, 10. If we stick in 0 right there, y equals 6 times 0. 0 plus 10 is 10. We get 0, 10 right up there. Now, what is the slope of this line? The slope is this number right here, 6/1. Why do we write it as a fraction? That 6/1 is just the number 6. But this tells us a rise and a run so that we can actually use the slope to find a second point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. And we have that. Oops, there we go. That is the second point. We could actually find out what it is. If you go up 6, you'd be at 16 over 1. That point is 1/16, and it works in the line. But you don't need that one if you don't want to. But that one right there, 1 point and the slope, and we got it. Let's try it again. Here we have a point, 0, 3. See that guy right there sitting? If we stick in 0, gone, y equals 3. And the slope is 4, which we can write as 4/1 to do a rise and run. So 0, 3 is right there, and it goes up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And you'll see this is a 4-to-1 ratio, rise to run, and so that becomes, good. There we go. And if you wanted to see what that point was, go up 4 over 1, and that point's going to be 1/7 if you wanted. Number 22. We have the point 0, -4. That's the shortcut. 0, -4 is right there. And this one has the slope 1/2. And notice we are designating 1 point and the slope to get our line. Slope is 1/2, which means rise 1, run 1, 2. And so that is our second point. Do we have to label it? We do not for this problem. But we found it by the slope off of the point that was on the line. Excellent. Let's clear that off and then do this next set. Number 23, this says x equals -6. This is a vertical line. X equals -6. We go back to where x is -6, and it is straight up and down. Now, what's the slope of a vertical line? Notice this does not have y by itself, so our cool little shortcut that we had over here, y equals mx plus b, we can't use it on this one. So it's a vertical line, and vertical line has slope that is undefined. Oops, undefined. And so 1 point here, you could put -6, 0, or you could put any other point that has -6, -6, 5, -6, 3, -6, 2, as long as the x is -6. But the slope is undefined, and they do want us to note that. All right, let's do the next one. Number 24, it goes through the point 0, -2. There it is right there, and has a slope of a -3/7. Ooh, first negative slope of the day. 0, -2 is right here, and this means it goes down 3/7. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, many students will often ask, wait, if it went down 3, how come it doesn't go backwards 7? Because it's negative. Shouldn't it go down 3 and then backwards 7? Put the negative on both of them. And that is not the case. Notice that this right here, -3 over -7, these would make a positive 3/7 slope. You can only use the negative on one of them. It's easiest just to go down 3 and then over 7. You could have gone up 3 and then backwards 7. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And notice you'll get the same line. So it doesn't matter where you put the negative, but you can only use it on one of them. All right, number 25. It goes through the point 0, -3. There's our y-intercept right there, and it has a slope of 3/4. So 0, -3 is about right here and goes up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rise over run, and there we go. A little curvy on that one. All right, that was number 25. Let's clear this off and do number 26. And we have for number 26, it goes through the point 0, 10/3. And notice the shortcut that we had. It doesn't matter if it's fractions or anything. The y equals mx plus b, whatever that guy is, 0, b, will always be the y-intercept. So the slope on that guy now is -5/3. So 0, 10/3. So that's 10 divided by 3, and the calculator is just over 3. So go up to 3 and then go just a little bit more and make a dot. We don't need to be too precise. And then down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, we're up over 3 just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And that's our line. It's like this. And we note that all negative slopes will end up pointing down as you run to the right, and the positive slopes point up. Next one, number 27. This goes through 0, 9/4. So that is 0 and 2.25, something like that. And the slope is -1/4. It's that number right in front of the x when y is by itself. So we go down 1 over 4. Down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. Okay. And number 28. Now we recognize this one from a previous section as well. Y equals 7. Well, that's go up to where y is 7. And then y stays at 7 no matter what x does. Yeah, look at that guy. Okay, so on this one, that's good to know. We know that horizontal has slope of 0. Notice that this actually, you could imagine this as 0x plus 7. And 0 times x is 0, which is why it wasn't ever written there. Horizontal, you can imagine, is being written as y equals mx plus b, where m is indeed 0, and it matches with a horizontal line. That is a cool connection. Vertical lines, like number 23, aren't written there. And so you can't kind of think of those as a 1 y equals undefined x plus whatever. But when x is by itself, that's where we get the undefined slope. But these ones, horizontal, can actually be written kind of as the y equals mx plus b of that. Great. Let's clear those off and do number 29. Number 29. What is the slope of a line parallel to? Ooh, we have to think about that. What is parallel? Parallel means same slope. So what's the slope of this line? The slope of this line is 5/3. Same slope or parallel would be 5/3. Done. Number 30. What is the slope of a line perpendicular? Now remember, this is negative reciprocal to y equals 5. Now y equals 5, that's a horizontal line. We just did that with number 28. This is a horizontal line, which is slope of 0. Perpendicular would then be -1 over this. That's division by 0. That is undefined. And yes, horizontal lines and vertical lines are perpendicular to each other. So anything that would be perpendicular to a horizontal line would have a slope of undefined, or would be x equals something if you wrote it out as an equation. Excellent.